LGBTQ plus suicide rates are at an all-time high. The Trevor Project estimates that more than 1.8 million LGBTQ youth, 13 through 24, seriously consider suicide each year in the U.S.
Who am I? I am the CTE theater teacher at Pankow Center. My opinion is there a connection between LGBTQ youth, their mental health, and school, correct? Absolutely, absolutely, without a doubt.
My name is Ann Merkel, and I am a counselor at the Pankow Center. And before coming over here, I spent a little bit of time at the Pellerin Center, which is our alternative school. Before that, I spent ages as a counselor over at High School North. But in the buildings that I have been a part of, I think we do a lot, and there's a lot available. The tricky side of that is that often kids will perceive that there's nothing available because they've never heard of it. Well, is that something you're going to necessarily hear of? There's lots of resources available that kids don't know about for a lot of different things, and this is no exception. So a really important factor for the LGBTQ kids is to find that courage to ask. And that's a hard thing to do when you don't feel safe. But it is an important thing to do, and then it's important for us as adults in the schools to keep having those conversations, to say, how do we present this information? How do we normalize it and get it into everyday conversation so that kids will be aware and their parents will be aware that there are resources available?
What I've done to help a student to deal with issues, we're talking in the LGBT community, I listen. I demonstrate, I model, I have these flags sitting behind me. As a member of the community myself, as far as I know, there's only a few that are willing to even say they're a member of the community. Don't know how that's going to go over me saying it out loud, but c'est la vie. You know, I just listen. I don't promote. I don't ask. I don't think it's anyone's business. But I do think I provide a safe place for all my students, no matter, you know, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their economic status, their intelligence, their challenges. I provide a safe atmosphere, and I'm very proud of that and have done that since I've been here. I think it's really important to provide a safe environment. But if I gave any advice to any other teacher, I would say, don't judge. Just listen. Just provide an ear. You don't, you know, it's not a I have to agree or I have to disagree. You know, everyone is a person and should be treated with absolute total respect, period, unless their behavior doesn't warrant it. But that's not who they are. That's an actual action.
I think it's important to have as inclusive of policies as we possibly can have. And it's important to keep pushing those boundaries to make ourselves more and more and more inclusive. But I also have lived through some environments in different workplaces, not in L'Anse Creuse particularly, but where if you're forced to do something and you as the principal, or in my case manager, don't believe it, it's going to ring false. And I almost think that when it rings false, it does more harm than good. And it would be better to keep a restrictive policy that the person in charge believes in than to have them faking it, because the kids know when it's being faked.
For PBS Student Reporting Labs, this was Anthony Kaiser reporting from the Frederick V. Pankow Center.